Hi there, this is just a really quick introduction to using Nearpod, which I'm hoping to use for our online lessons just now. So the instructions you'll have been given via Google Classroom are to type in join.nearpod.com into your browser. There is also a Nearpod app, so you might want to try and download that. Now you don't need a login, you don't need to put in your email address or anything. When you've entered that into your browser, you should see this screen where it says join a session, and your teacher will give you a code to join the lesson. So I'll also have put in a code for you to enter for every lesson. So for this example, I'm just going to use this one, which is QMTB7. Now, when you join the lesson, you will see a variety of things depending on what it is that I have set up for you. So when it first opens, you will be asked to put your name in. So if you could put in just your first and your second name, that would be helpful. I'm just going to join the lesson, and in this case it's my first year chemistry revision lesson. So when you've opened it, all you then need to be able to do is go through the slides. So depending on what is on each slide, is going to give you something to do. So in this case, we're just going to have a wee look at what's on these slides. So you'd be expected just to read through this just now. And now I'm just going to mute my speakers just because I think there might be some recordings coming up shortly. When you go on to some of them, you'll see that there is a play button at the bottom, and that's where I've recorded a little explanation for you. So where you see that, you can just hit play and it'll start, you'll hear me explaining some of the content to you via that. So again, that's another one that's got some information along the bottom of it. So there might be a few of those depending on the type of lesson that we've been doing and depending on what it is that I need you to understand. Now this one, you've been given an activity, so up here you've got some instructions. You need to match the correct definition to each picture by clicking on the cards. So all that means, and this might be a little bit different whenever we do it, but all that means is that when you see a picture like this one, you're then looking for the text that goes alongside it. So in that case, that would be this one. So as you're working your way through, that'll get rid of those ones. So then you'd be expected to do those other ones. The other types of ones, so that's another one that's definitions and pictures matching to the cards. That's a third one that's doing the same thing. So you might also be asked to use the drawing tool to draw different bits and pieces. So in this case, you've been asked to draw how the particles will be arranged in a solid, a liquid and a gas. So you can use the various drawing tools that they've got there. So there's a pen drawing tool. So if I wanted to draw some particles in there, I might just draw a little particle like that. You might also be able to use highlighter tool, so I might ask you to highlight the correct words in a passage, for example. You might be able to label something by typing your text in. So this is my answer, and when you've done that, you can then move it around and put it in the right place. So that will really depend on the type of question that I've asked. If that's a bit tricky, don't worry about it. You can always just draw it out on a bit of paper and send me a photo of it. But hopefully most of them should be quite straightforward. If you do draw on a bit of paper, we can always have a look at that, how you can use other buttons to upload things. So then you would submit that, and that would be submitting your answer. So then we're going to move on. We've got some other information here, and you've also got, you might have a fill in the blanks. So you've got a statement here, and I'd be looking for you to move the answers where you think they might go. Just like that. And when you're ready, you would hit done. And there we go, I only got 0 out of 5 on that one. And once you have worked your way through, you might also see questions such as this one, which is an open-ended question. So up here you've got the question up here: describe what is meant by the term diffusion. Use the following words: particle, concentration and movement. And you just need to type your answer into there. Oops. Here's my answer, and I'm going to hit submit again. And then that's taken us to the end of the lesson. And once you're finished, you're done. You could go back and start over. If you are going to do that, maybe put in something like your name with a number 2 next to it, just so that I know that it's you that's done it again. But there's really no need. All we're just trying to do is get an idea of how well you're doing. Hope that's been fairly self-explanatory. I hope it's a wee bit easier to use than going from system to system in Google Classroom. Hopefully it's a little bit easier to type on and to move things around than it was when we were using Google Slides before. But obviously if there's any questions, you can let me know.